Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Tuesday the 14th of January and yesterday was the summit. I do apologise for not doing a video yesterday afternoon, but unfortunately my daughter wasn't very well and I had to have paramedics out. Anyway, that's by the by. So the summit happened yesterday and there seems to be a lot of mixed feelings, heated debates about what this particular statement that was put out by the Queen actually really means. Because let's face it, there wasn't much detail given in that statement. But what you must remember is the Queen is the master chess player. She says a lot more by not saying enough, and we need to analyse the statement itself. That's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. The first sentence of the statement: today, my family had a very constructive discussion on the future of my grandson and his family. Now, the wording of that is quite telling because she doesn't say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. She doesn't say Her Royal Highnesses. She says grandson. And right from the offset, you know that this isn't a queen giving a statement. This is a grandma making a statement instead. And I think that's something that we need to hold on to. This was a very personal statement from a grandmother and not a monarch. And this is evidently clear because she mentions family 8 times. And that is, I think, both deliberate and very significant. The monarch, it seems, has been deeply hurt with what has happened over the last week. But she also needs to make sure that she holds her family together. This was a statement about family unity, not a royal household unity. And I think what the Queen is implying is that, yes, she is our head of state and she is head of her family, i.e. the firm, but she's also a grandmother. Second part of the statement: my family and I are entirely supportive of Harry and Meghan's desire to create a new life as a young family. Well, of course she's going to say that because any grandmother or any figurehead, if she doesn't show support, she will be absolutely crucified. So she had to do that. And you would want that for your own family, wouldn't you? You'd want to support them no matter what. Yes, what they've done has hurt her deeply and it has affected the firm in more ways than I think she realises. But she needs to show unity and not division. You also need to note that she didn't refer to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex or use their Royal Highnesses. It was Harry and Meghan. Because I think that this isn't over yet. She is making it very clear that they are Harry and Meghan, and this is what they were going to be, Harry and Meghan. I think that this in itself is the most telling of the bits of the statement, Harry and Meghan. In all other statements that the Queen has put out, she's always used titles. This one, she doesn't. So yet again, it's just solidifying that this statement is come from the heart and the head of a family, not just the royal family, but again, showing family unity. If you think that this exposes the fact that their titles may be taken away, I don't think we can rule anything out at this moment. The Queen knows what she's doing, I'm sure, but you can't read into that they are having their titles taken away. Maybe she's given them a deal and said, I'll give you this, this, this and this. The door is always open. You need to hand in your titles. Nothing has been mentioned about the titles, which seems to be the biggest bugbear of most British taxpayers. The third part of the statement: although we would have preferred them to remain full-time working members of the royal family, we respect and understand their wish to live a more independent life as a family while remaining a valued part of my family. Now this, I think, is the most key part of the statement. She specifically said that she or we would have preferred them to remain full-time working members of the royal family. So therefore, I can read into that they are no longer full-time working members of the royal family. that doesn't necessarily mean they're not going to be part-time working members of the royal family. She also gives acknowledgement that they want to live an independent life, which is very important to both Harry and Meghan. And whether or not that means independent financially, we're not 100% sure. It's going to be a tiered system, but I'll get onto that later on. And the most intriguing part is, as a family while remaining a valued part of my family. Now, this is the key to all of this statement. She is stating that this is her private family. She has a lot more family than the working royals. You have Zara, you have Beatrice, you have Eugenie, you have all these other elements out there that aren't actually in the public eye, but she still considers them her family. There's a lot more to the royal family than the ones that you see cutting ribbons, pulling curtains off plaques and clapping and shaking people's hands. What she's cementing here is that they will always be part of her family. It's also very clever because this then obliterates any negative comment about them being sidelined, them being frozen out, them being bullied. I know that both William and Harry put out a statement yesterday saying that they are offended that a story came out that they both feel that they were bullied by William. That in itself was very telling because they had to put this statement out. They didn't not confirm the riff, but what they objected to was the bullying. I also think the Queen understands that the younger royals are the future of the monarchy. And without Harry, I'm not going to include Meghan in this because quite frankly, I think she's behaved disgracefully. But without Harry, there is that void there. So I think Her Majesty knows that that door needs to always be left open should he return back to the fold. Fourth element was that Harry and Meghan, using their names again, have made it clear that they do not want to be reliant on public funds in their new lives. Again, the word is public funds. The Duchy of Cornwall and their allowance is not public funds. We're just purely talking about the 5% sovereign grant here, which quite frankly is not really that much. Whether or not the public funds mean Frogmore House or the security is still undecided or unconfirmed. Again, that is a massive thing for the taxpayer, which will lead to more discussions. And I think that we'll hear more about that in the next coming days or weeks. I don't think that the public will like what this statement said, and I think the palace, or I will urge the palace, to confirm more details quite quickly. Otherwise, this is going to be whipped up into a chaos. The lack of detail here speaks volumes, I think. I think what probably has happened is that the Queen has presented Harry with various scenarios of what is best for both the monarchy and for Harry and Meghan. He's now probably going to go back to his little mistress and say, Meghan, which one shall we choose? And she's going to call the shots. I would like to point out that Meghan was refused to be part of this meeting. It was speculated that she was going to Skype in or called in. It was denied. She was not allowed to be part of this meeting. And I think that is absolute the right call for Her Majesty and her aides to have done. Fifth element of the statement, it has therefore been agreed that there will be a period of transition in which the Sussexes will spend time in Canada and the UK. So this basically means they are going to have a trial and error period of what works and what doesn't work, where funds possibly will be tapered down while they get on their feet financially. But the problem being is that the crutch lies with these titles. Without the titles, I don't see them being global superstars. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But the way that they have behaved over this past week, I think leaves them open to be negatively looked upon within the business world. If they can do this to the Queen, they can really do it to anybody, can't they? But we know that Harry has signed to an Apple deal with regards to Oprah and the mental health TV show that they're doing. This may have been delayed because they knew what was coming and that they wanted the signed deal and the contract money-wise to take place after they have left the royal family, because therefore they can charge a hell of a lot more. The problem I have with this particular part of the statement is that she says that they were splitting their time between Canada and the UK. This, I think, is completely wrong because Meghan is already in Canada with Archie and their dogs. That is a clear indication they're going nowhere. Meghan's going nowhere. Meghan will never step foot back onto UK soil ever again, I don't feel, unless it is absolutely necessary for the benefit of her career or of the law, as in court cases. If it benefits Meghan, she will come back. But of course the Queen's not going to say that because there would be a public outcry if the Queen said they're no longer going to be living in the UK, they're buggering off. The Queen has to be diplomatic at all times. So very well, they might down the line say, oh, do you know, that's it, they're done. But at the moment, as it stands, as far as these talks go, they will be splitting their time. That possibly will mean Harry will be splitting his time, but we know goddamn well that Meghan will remain away. She's done with this country. She's chewed us up and spat us out and basically just put her feet all over us while she's walked on by. It may seem like they've won, but please don't discount our Queen just yet. I think there is still a lot to discover. The final part of the statement, these are complex matters for my family to resolve and there is some more work to be done. But I have asked for final decisions to be reached in the coming days. I think the way that we can look at this is that discussions are not over and there's still quite a lot of hammering out to do. Like I said previously, I think some scenarios have been given to Harry to take to Meghan and to discuss them and then come back to the Queen of what they actually want. What she's probably told them is you can keep your titles, but if you commercialise off them, they're gone. Or you're going to hand your titles in, but you need to revoke them because I have picked up after you all of this time. I've sorted this mess out. I've kept your reputation or what little there is left of it, and I am shown to support you, but you need to give and take. I think the word here is compromise, and I think the Queen is compromising on this, and they also need to come back with another compromise because it can't be one-sided. This does somewhat make the Queen look weaker, but it's also saying that little bit at the end is saying discussions are not done yet. Please bear with me. And as you can probably tell, there's a lot at stake on both sides with regards to this. Both have a lot to lose, and the monarchy in general has a lot to lose. And I think that they need to take the public opinion very seriously. If the Queen looks weak and gives in, the public will demand an answer. They did after Diana's death and made the Queen respond. I think the most important thing at the moment is their titles, and I really hope that the monarchy understand that if they are allowed to just take their titles and run, they will commercialise them and monetize them to the hilt. The monarchy will be for sale and it will be put to the highest bidder at the auction. There's no doubt about that. She will trade off those titles. So it may have been put to Harry and Meghan to renounce them. This will make them look better in the public's eyes. Whether or not they do that, only time will tell. In conclusion, this statement was there is more to come. But this is a statement of unity of a family, but not unity of a royal household. It's that simple. Let's see what the next few days have in store for us, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. And we know that Meghan plays dirty. I just find it laughable. She wasn't allowed in the meeting via Skype or phone call. That is the power that the Queen has, and everybody listens. She was no part of this discussions. It is royal family members only, and that just goes to show you how little they respect her. So what do you think of the statement? What was your first impressions? Have things changed after you've just mulled it over? How do you think this is going to pan out? And what do you think the next coming days have in store for the Queen, Harry and Meghan? I'm not calling them Duke and Duchess of Sussex anymore because I don't think they deserve it. As always, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Thank you to everyone that has donated to my channel. I'm overwhelmed with your generosity and kindness. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you very soon.